Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend, as always. So I thought today we'd talk a little bit about how to properly introduce yourself. And you're probably thinking, you know what, I've done this 100 times. I know exactly how to introduce myself. But again, our goal behind these is maybe to learn one or two tricks on how to do a little different introduction to make yourself stick out. That being said, let's run with a good Zig Ziglar quote. It's your responsibility to make the client like you. If they like you, they will listen. If they listen, they will believe. If they believe, they will buy. Just having the client like you is very important. And how you come across in your first 30 seconds is actually going to be a way to determine if your client likes you or not. A lot of people get a gut reaction right away. They say, hey, you know what? I really like this person. I'm not feeling them so much. Either way, let's learn a few things that we can do to alter it and see if we can actually increase the percentage of people who want to talk to us, which on the sales funnel obviously is going to hopefully increase the very bottom, which is our sales. So happy Motivation Monday, everybody. Let's jump into how to do a solid introduction. Now, an introduction is very important because that is the very first things that you're doing with your client. And you can think of an introduction in two different ways: when you first pick up the phone and then also when you're starting your sales process. My opinion, hearing about 1 million different introductions by now, they're really broken into 4 main pieces: kind of who you are, why you're calling. So what is it? Your engaging question. What we call a WIFM. WIFM is what's in it for me? Why do somebody actually care? And of course, ending with the process and next step. We are going to jump into other parts of the sales process later, like how to do proper fact finding. What are we going to look for? We'll go through gathering sheets, which is what you need to actually know about your client. We'll jump into the presentation. Hey, you gathered all this stuff. Now what to do? And then, well, of course, we'll do how to do a solid close, which if you do the first 3 steps right, the close is kind of a joke. So you literally have 30 to 40 seconds to grab the attention of your potential client for them to decide if they like you or not. 30 to 40 seconds. Originally, when we talked about the sales process a long time ago, people have to think you're fun to work with. They have to think you're professional, knowledgeable, and have their best interests in mind. And literally, you have 40 seconds to kind of do that and get as many of those 4 done as possible. Your client needs to know all that to effectively buy from you. You can say, you know what, my clients actually don't think I'm that fun and they buy from me. Maybe you should take a look at what the retention is, because I know the word fun is very subjective, but they have to have a good feeling. The last one, which is kind of funny, is going to say process next step. And some people say, you know what, I don't really tell my clients what I'm going to do. I'm like, funny enough, your clients are actually wondering the whole time. And what I like to do is I like to actually have my clients listen to what I am selling. They need to hear what the product is, because I like it when they keep the product, because I get paid as long as they keep paying. So if they keep it and they understand it and they like it, that's why I tell them the process. So they can ignore everything else because they know what's going to happen and just listen to what I'm going to explain. Adults have to know what's going to happen. We just absolutely have to know what we're going to do, or we sit there and we wonder the whole time. So the first step in opening a call or a dialogue with any of your prospective clients is going to be your introduction. It seems simple, right? You need to grab your client's attention, make them want to keep speaking with you, and don't want to blend into everybody else. So keep that in mind, depending on what kind of leads you're buying, right? Exclusive, non-exclusives. A lot of my great agents rock the non-exclusives because they can grab their attention right away, right? You want to stand out, so don't overthink it, but you need to be ear grabbing. Do you like them saying, don't do this, but do this, that, and this? Okay, 30 to 40 seconds. If it's a cold call, be careful to do an immediate introduction because you can give them the signals and hang up. No one really cares, honestly, first off, what your last name is, because it's going to be in your email. So if they really want to see it and if they want to take a look up on you, they can absolutely do it. But it's kind of that easy. One thing not to do, and I hear this all the time, is asking them, do you have a minute? Do you have time to talk to me? A lot of people say, it's professional courtesy. You're right. It's also a professional no. Just make an assumption. People will stop you if they don't have time, and that's okay. One thing that we talked about in a sales process is do what's called an assumptive sale, which means you're assuming that the whole time that is going to work how you're expecting it to. Just work like that the whole time. But you want to throw them off using an unexpected pleasantry. Hey, John, thanks for picking up my call, and assuming that it's them, or hey, this is Dan, the insurance guy. What you're doing is you're actually setting the client's mind at ease, and you're making yourself more interesting. Those are 2 good examples. The next step is kind of why you're calling. If you want to, this is a way to say your name and the company you're working for. If you don't want to say the name of the company who you're working for, that's fine too. You can just say, hey, this is Dan, the insurance guy. What I'm doing is I'm a licensed broker in 50 different states, and my services are free to help you. Keep in mind, with leads that put their information online, most of the time they're being contacted by 100 different people. They go to a lead development site, they click some box asking someone to contact them, then they get sold to about 90 different companies. If they're non-exclusive, if they're exclusive, hopefully just to you. So the name, your company, if you're affiliated with, don't be long-winded. Keep in mind, people are deciding again in 30 seconds if they like you. You want to be cheery here and energy and just dang it, smile, right? Sometimes make that easy. So who you are, who you're with, what you're doing, clear to the point, but goofy things like lean in on your introduction. If you're over the phone and you lean in, you can hear a very huge difference. Why leaning in actually gives you energy. It gives a little more power behind your voice, so lean in with that one. Stand if you can. Wall mirror in the office so you can make eye contact. Why are 101s because they're actually the base foundation of what works. Hey, John, thanks for taking my call. I'm Dan, the insurance guy. I'm here with giving you a call about your request for health insurance. Kind of quick and to the point. The next area is going to be the WIFM. What's in it for me? And we talked about this a lot. Your clients are calling not to hear about your life story, but for you to hear about theirs. That's what sales is, right? Sales is we get paid to listen and then figure out what is their pain point that they're telling us through all these 100 stories and then match that pain point with a product. Why should they care what you do? If you've done your own brand and decided who do you want to work with, this is a lot easier. You can specialize your benefit statement here. Why should they care what you can say you do to make their lives easier? You want to make their ears burn. What can you do? Do you have unique benefits? Can you reduce their costs? Can you offer peace of mind? Do you work with small business owners? What can you do? Usually it's in a form of a question like, I can save my clients on an average around 10% on their health insurance costs. Is that something you're interested in learning about? Have you been declined for insurance in the past? I have a short-term medical product that's guaranteed issue. Would you be interested in learning more about? I have a product that helps protect your family's financial security if the big what if happens. These are things that make clients pay attention right away. In health insurance, there's so much variance in need. That's why it's easier if you're working with more specialized type of client. Even though I get with the whole general cold calling leads, you can't do it all the time. But why should they spend those 5 minutes to learn about you? And what do I mean by 5 minutes? Because we're probably going to gather their information, then look up quotes. The last section here is going to be the process and the next step, right? You can go two ways. So if they decide that they don't have time and they need to set an appointment, you can absolutely do that. Or if you're not talking to the decision maker, go for it. Or you can explain what's going to happen. Let's talk through the first. If they don't have time now and you're setting an appointment, keep in mind you need to get a clear time and date, not, hey, call me Tuesday. That's garbage. Clear time and date. What are you going to do? So on that time and date, what is going to happen? So, John, I understand you don't have time now. I'm going to call you Tuesday at 3:45, and what I'll go through your current insurance situation and what you're expecting out of a plan. And then on that call, what I'm actually going to do is go through, customize a plan for you. It's going to suit the best of your needs. And if at any time you don't like something, let me know. I'll take it off. And then in the end, we'll go through the application process for that policy that day. Okay? Bam. You just said what you're going to do. You're saying, hey, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, do some fact finding, present you a product, and close you. And they say, okay. And then repeat the time. So that's going to be a Tuesday, whatever the date is. So tomorrow's the 26th. So Tuesday the 26th at 3:45. Can you grab a pen and paper? Listen for them to ruffle. That's one of my favorite things in the world. And then have them repeat it back. Kind of weird, right? How many times do customers not repeat it back? It can happen. That's really embarrassing, but that happens. Then they're not going to show, and don't worry, you can schedule another appointment during that time. Not the end of the world. I used to do this, increase my show rate just by about 40%. Just have them repeat it back. And those people are going to be for sure closes. Now, if they're ready now, that's the second half. But you better be ready to go. When you're calling out on your cold calls, be ready to actually pitch. Don't call unless you have your sales process done, your script out, you're ready to go. You can explain what your steps in the process are and be 100% prepared. Keep in mind, introduction is the very first step. So it'd be something like, hey, gotcha, John. So what I actually do right now, this call takes about 20 minutes, maybe 30 on the long end, but I'm going to ask you a few questions about your health insurance needs. Together from there, we're going to actually customize a plan that's going to best suit your needs. For there, we'll make any changes as needed. As long as you like what you hear, we're going to go ahead and get you applied today, okay? So an introduction, even though it has a lot, and I'm going to go through one in a second, is really just introduction, your name, asking the engaging question, telling them why do they actually care about you, and then in the end, the process. Hi, it's John there. Thanks for taking my call. It's Steve. I'm a licensed health insurance agent at HCP, giving you a call because of your request to be contacted about health insurance. What I do here is I save my clients on average about 10% on their health insurance. So does that sound good to you? Great. Well, John, what I do here is I ask you a few questions about your health insurance needs. Together, we customize a plan to best suit everything that you need there for you and your family. From there, we're going to make changes, anything you want, and as long as you like what we hear, we're going to go ahead and get you applied for that today. Quick, easy, and to the point. And let's end with a pretty good quote going on. Sales are contingent upon the attitude of the salesman, not the attitude of the prospect. That's, again, they have to like you in the beginning. You have to be the one smiling and having the good day. Have a great Monday, and have a great week, everyone.